In our relentless pursuit of digital perfection, more data, more automation, more scale, have we accidentally engineered the soul out of our businesses? We live in a world of unprecedented connection, yet our interactions feel increasingly shallow. Our ventures are armed with powerful analytics, yet they often lack a clear sense of purpose. The modern entrepreneur is drowning in a sea of fleeting trends, growth hacks, and vanity metrics, chasing a digital ghost they can never quite catch. The result is often a business with a healthy balance sheet but a hollow core, leaving both its customers and its creators feeling unfulfilled. The solution, paradoxically, is not found in the next new app or software platform. It is found in looking back, in rediscovering the timeless, analog principles of human connection, enduring craftsmanship, and unwavering purpose. This book is your playbook for building a thoroughly modern business on a foundation of timeless wisdom. Analog Principles for a Digital World, Timeless Wisdom for the Modern Entrepreneur, written and published by Success Attraction Formula. Chapter 1. Finding Your Analog North Star. Imagine an ancient mariner navigating the vast, featureless ocean. Her most trusted tool is not the most complex or advanced instrument on her ship. It is the North Star, a single howler, unchanging point of light in the heavens. Through storms and uncertainty, this fixed point provides a constant source of direction, allowing her to always know her true heading. Now imagine a modern driver, completely reliant on a digital GPS. When the signal is strong, it is efficient. But in a storm, when the signal is lost or the software glitches, the driver is utterly lost, anxiously pulling over, directionless, and paralyzed. In the world of modern business, most entrepreneurs are navigating like the second example. Their GPS is the chaotic, constantly shifting stream of digital metrics, daily revenue fluctuations, social media engagement, competitor press releases, and the latest industry trends. They are constantly rerouting their strategy based on this noisy, short-term data. This leads to strategic drift, a frantic chasing of fleeting opportunities, and a business that lacks a core identity. It is a recipe for burnout and for building a venture with no soul, a ship with 1,000 complex instruments but no fixed star to guide it home. The solution is to stop navigating by the glitchy GPS of external metrics and to anchor your entire enterprise to an analog North Star. This is your company's deep, unchanging, and emotionally resonant why. It is a purpose that exists beyond just making a profit. It is the positive impact you want to make on your customers, your community, or the world. This purpose becomes your ultimate navigational tool. It provides the clarity to make difficult decisions, the stability to weather any digital storm, and the inspiration to build a business that is not just successful, but significant. When you are guided by a fixed star, the daily fluctuations of the digital world cease to be a source of anxiety and instead become mere weather patterns on a journey to a clear and unwavering destination. This chapter will provide you with 3 principles to find and follow your own analog North Star. The first and most foundational principle is to establish the why before the what. Most businesses are defined by what they do. We sell coffee. We build software. We offer consulting services. This is the what. A business with an analog North Star is defined by why it does what it does. The why is the underlying purpose, the core belief, the cause that drives the enterprise. You must be able to articulate this why with passion and clarity. This works because human beings are not inspired by what you do. They are inspired by why you do it. A powerful why taps into the deep human need for meaning and belonging. It attracts employees who are not just looking for a paycheck, but for a mission. It attracts customers who are not just buying a product, but are buying into a story and an identity that resonates with their own values. This creates a level of loyalty and advocacy that a business focused only on its what can never achieve. As a practical example, consider a company that makes outdoor gear. Their what is selling jackets and backpacks, but their why could be to inspire and enable the spirit of human adventure. This powerful why would inform every decision. Their marketing would not just show pictures of jackets, it would tell stories of adventure. Their product design would prioritize durability for real-world expeditions. They would hire people who are passionate adventurers themselves. They are not just selling gear, they are selling the embodiment of adventure. This purpose becomes their North Star, guiding every aspect of the business. The second principle is to define your non-negotiable values. If your purpose is your destination, your values are the guardrails on the road that keep you on course. Values are the small set of core beliefs that define how you will, and more importantly, how you will not behave on your journey to achieving your vision. In a world that often encourages a win-at-all-costs mentality, being clear on your non-negotiable values is a radical act of strategic clarity. You must identify 3 to 5 core values that are truly essential to your company's identity and commit to them, even when it is difficult or unprofitable to do so in the short term. This works because clearly defined values act as a powerful decision-making heuristic or mental shortcut. They simplify complex choices and allow you and your team to act with speed and integrity. When you are clear on what you stand for, you are less likely to be tempted by opportunities that, while potentially lucrative, would compromise your brand and your soul. This builds immense trust with both your customers and your employees. A software company, for instance, might have a core non-negotiable value of elegant simplicity. One day, their largest client demands they add a new highly complex feature. The sales team, focused on the revenue, pushes hard to do it. But because elegant simplicity is a non-negotiable value, the leadership team makes the difficult decision to say no. They explain to the client that adding such a complex feature would violate their core promise to all their users. In the short term, they risk angering a major client. In the long term, they have powerfully reinforced their brand's integrity and their commitment to their North Star, earning the deep respect of their ideal customers. The third principle is to measure what truly matters. The digital world seduces us with an endless stream of easily measurable but often meaningless vanity metrics: likes, followers, page views. A business guided by an analog North Star must have the discipline to focus on measuring what truly reflects the health of its purpose and its values. This means creating a purpose dashboard with metrics that go beyond the financial. This works because what you measure is what you manage. By making your purpose-driven metrics a primary focus of your leadership team, you ensure that the company stays accountable to its why, not just to its bottom line. This keeps the North Star at the center of the conversation and guides resource allocation toward what is truly important. An e-commerce brand whose North Star is to promote sustainable consumerism would still track sales and profits. But their primary purpose dashboard would feature metrics like percentage of products made from recycled materials, carbon footprint per shipment, and customer lifetime value, which is a strong indicator of a loyal, trusting relationship. Discussing these metrics in every weekly leadership meeting ensures that their operational decisions are always in service of their deeper purpose. It keeps them on course, navigating by their own chosen star rather than the fleeting metrics of the digital crowd. You have now learned how to find your analog North Star, the deep sense of purpose and values that will provide your venture with stability and direction. But a purpose without people is just a private journal entry. In a world of fleeting clicks and anonymous traffic, how do you use your North Star to attract not just a crowd, but a loyal and passionate community? How do you build a true tribe? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Build a tribe, not just traffic. Imagine the stark difference between two gatherings. The first is a massive, anonymous crowd surging through a central train station at rush hour. The people are packed together, but they are not connected. They are a transient audience, each individual focused on their own destination, with no shared identity or purpose. The second gathering is a small, tight-knit village celebrating a local festival. The people know each other's names. They share inside jokes. They are united by a common history and a sense of belonging. They are not an audience. They are a community. In the digital world, most businesses are obsessed with the first model. Their primary goal is to generate traffic, a relentless pursuit of more clicks, more views, and more anonymous visitors to their website. This approach leads to a business built on shallow, transactional relationships. They spend a fortune on advertising to attract a crowd of strangers who feel no real connection to the brand, have no loyalty, and will vanish the moment a cheaper or more convenient alternative appears. They have built a busy train station, but not a village. The solution is a fundamental and powerful shift in strategy, away from attracting traffic and toward building a tribe. This is a core analog principle applied to a digital world. A tribe is not just a list of customers, it is a community of true fans, united by a shared interest, a common set of values, and a belief in your company's North Star, the very purpose you defined in the last chapter. A tribe is a group of people who don't just buy from you, they belong with you. They are your most passionate advocates, your most valuable source of feedback, and your most resilient defense against competition. Building a tribe is the art of turning a passive audience into an active, engaged, and loyal community. This chapter will detail the 3 essential pillars for building your own digital tribe. The first and most crucial pillar is to speak a shared language. Every strong tribe in human history, from ancient clans to modern subcultures, has been defined by a unique way of communicating. They have their own specific terms, their inside jokes, their unique perspective on the world. This shared language creates a powerful sense of identity and belonging. It clearly signals who is an insider and who is an outsider. As a business leader, you must intentionally develop and use a unique language that resonates with your ideal members. This works because it makes your people feel deeply seen and understood. When you speak their language, you are signaling that you are one of them, that you share their worldview. This builds an immediate and powerful rapport that generic corporate speak can never achieve. For example, a company that sells productivity software for creative professionals could choose to speak a different language. Instead of talking about managing tasks, they could talk about clearing the path for brilliance. Instead of calling their users customers, they could call them creators. They might use terms like the resistance to describe procrastination. This shared language creates a powerful us versus them dynamic, us creators versus the forces of resistance, and makes their users feel like they are part of a special, understood group. This is how you start to gather your people. The second pillar is to create a gathering place. A tribe needs a campfire, a central place where they can gather to share stories, connect with each other, and reinforce their shared identity. In the digital world, you must intentionally create this digital campfire for your tribe. While social media platforms are useful for reaching new people, they are not a good gathering place because you do not own or control them. The platform's algorithm dictates who sees what, and your tribe is constantly being distracted by other content. A true gathering place must be a space that you own. This could be a private online forum on your website, a dedicated community platform like Discord or Circle, or even a premium newsletter with a vibrant comment section. The key is that it must be a space where the primary focus is on member-to-member interaction, not just brand-to-member broadcasting. This works because the strongest tribes are built on the connections between the members themselves, not just on their individual connection to the leader. When your members start forming genuine friendships with each other within your ecosystem, their loyalty to your brand becomes incredibly deep and resilient. A company that sells specialized equipment for home coffee brewing could create a private community called the Home Barista Guild. This forum would be a place for members to post pictures of their coffee setups, to ask for advice on brewing techniques, and to trade rare coffee beans. The company's role is to facilitate and moderate, but the real value is created by the community itself. This gathering place becomes an invaluable asset that no competitor can replicate. The third pillar is to champion your members. A traditional, transactional business constantly puts the spotlight on itself, on its products, its features, its awards. A tribe-building business turns the spotlight around and shines it brightly on its members. You must make your members the heroes of your brand's story. This means consistently and genuinely celebrating their successes, sharing their stories, and featuring their work. You must transition from being the hero of the story to being the trusted guide who helps the hero, your member, succeed on their journey. This works because it creates a profound emotional bond. When you celebrate your members, you are not just validating their success, you are affirming their identity within the tribe. It makes them feel seen, valued, and important. This, in turn, inspires them to become your most passionate evangelists, because they are not just advocating for a product, they are advocating for the community that believes in them. A company that makes a graphic design tool could dedicate its entire social media presence to showcasing the incredible artwork that its users create. They could run Creator of the Week features, conduct interviews with their most talented users, and tell the stories behind their creative projects. By making their users the stars, they build a fiercely loyal tribe of creators who are proud to be associated with the brand that champions their work. You have now learned the timeless principles for gathering your people, for transforming anonymous traffic into a loyal and passionate tribe. You have your purpose, and you have your community. But in a digital world that is overflowing with cheap, disposable, and low-quality products and content, how do you earn your tribe's deep and lasting respect? How do you create work that is not just consumed, but cherished? What is the timeless art of digital craftsmanship? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. The Timeless Art of Digital Craftsmanship. Imagine holding a beautifully handcrafted leather-bound journal. You can feel the quality of the materials, you can see the precision of the stitching, and you can sense the care and intention that went into its creation. It feels substantial, personal, and built to last. Now imagine a cheap, mass-produced, spiral-bound notebook from a discount store. It is functional, but it feels flimsy, impersonal, and disposable. It has no soul. In the digital world, most businesses are producing the equivalent of the cheap, disposable notebook. The relentless pressure to produce more content, to launch new features faster, and to chase fleeting trends has created a culture of good enough. The internet is flooded with soulless, low-quality, and instantly forgettable digital products, websites, and content. This digital landfill approach not only fails to stand out, but it actively erodes customer trust and devalues the brand. It is a strategy for short-term clicks, not for long-term respect. The solution is a conscious and deliberate return to the analog spirit of the master craftsman. It is a deep commitment to creating your digital work, your software, your website, your content, your online courses, with such a high level of care, quality, and attention to detail that it stands out as a work of art in a sea of digital noise. Digital craftsmanship is the art of infusing your work with soul. It is about making your creations not just functional, but beautiful, intuitive, and a genuine pleasure to interact with. It is the understanding that the quality of your work is a direct reflection of your respect for your audience. This is how you move beyond simply having a tribe to earning that tribe's deep and abiding respect and admiration. This chapter will detail the 3 essential hallmarks of the modern digital craftsman. The first hallmark is an obsession with the details. A true craftsman knows that greatness is found in the small things. While your users may not be able to consciously articulate why your website or app feels better than a competitor's, their subconscious mind registers the difference. They feel the care in the perfectly chosen typography, the elegance of the smooth animations, and the satisfying click of a well-designed button. An obsessive attention to these micro details communicates a profound level of respect for the user and their time. It signals that you are a creator who cares deeply about your craft. This works because these small moments of delight and quality accumulate to create an overall feeling of trust, professionalism, and premium value. It is the digital equivalent of a luxury hotel placing a mint on your pillow, a small, thoughtful detail that elevates the entire experience. A company that creates a project management application could spend an entire week perfecting the animation that occurs when a user completes a task. Instead of just disappearing, perhaps the task elegantly fades while a subtle, satisfying checkmark animates beside it. This is a tiny detail in the grand scheme of the product, but it is a detail that thousands of users will experience hundreds of times a day. That small moment of crafted delight builds a subconscious preference for their product and a feeling that it is simply better than its more clunky competitors. The second hallmark is the pursuit of elegant simplicity. In a digital world where the default is to add more features, more buttons, more options, the true craftsman understands that the highest form of sophistication is simplicity. The legendary designer Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away." The digital craftsman's job is to wage a war on complexity. It is to do the hard, intellectual work of distilling a product or an experience down to its elegant, essential core. This works because simplicity is the ultimate form of respect for the user's time and cognitive energy. A simple, intuitive product is a pleasure to use. It makes the user feel smart and capable. A complex, bloated product makes the user feel stupid and overwhelmed. By relentlessly pursuing simplicity, you create a user experience that is not just functional, but frictionless and joyful, which fosters deep and lasting loyalty. A new email software company entered a market dominated by massive platforms with hundreds of confusing features. The new company's entire philosophy was built on this hallmark. They offered only 5 core features, but each one was designed with obsessive care and worked flawlessly. Their marketing tagline was, "The power you need, the peace you deserve." They attracted a dedicated tribe of users who were fleeing the overwhelming complexity of the incumbent platforms, proving that in a world of clutter, simplicity is a revolutionary act. The third hallmark is to infuse the work with humanity. In an age of artificial intelligence, automated responses, and faceless corporate brands, the most powerful way to stand out is to be unapologetically human. A digital craftsman does not hide behind a corporate veneer. They infuse their work with their unique personality, their story, their values, and their authentic voice. This means writing in a style that is personal and real, not sanitized corporate speak. It means showing the faces and telling the stories of the real people behind the business. It means admitting when you make a mistake and communicating with honesty and humility. This works because humans are wired to connect with other humans, not with logos. An authentic, human voice cuts through the digital noise and creates a genuine emotional connection that an algorithm or a committee can never replicate. It makes your brand feel trustworthy, relatable, and real. The founder of a company that sells premium coffee beans writes a personal, story-driven email to his customers every single Sunday morning. He talks about his recent trip to a coffee farm in Colombia, his struggles with perfecting a new roast, or a funny story about his kids. People read these emails not just to learn about coffee, but because they feel like they have a personal relationship with the founder. This deep, human connection is the company's greatest competitive advantage, creating a level of trust and loyalty that no generic, automated marketing campaign could ever hope to achieve. You have now learned to anchor your venture to a purpose, to build a loyal tribe, and to serve them with work of exceptional craftsmanship. You are creating a business with a strong foundation and a real soul. But in a digital world rife with scams, clickbait, and broken promises, how do you effectively communicate this quality and integrity? How do you build the single most valuable and yet most fragile asset any business can possess? Genuine, unshakable trust. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4: Earning Trust in a World of Clicks. In a world of deepfakes, clickbait, automated bots, and disappearing messages, trust is the new gold. It is the single most valuable and scarcest asset a modern business can possess. Yet, while most entrepreneurs would agree with this statement, their actions often tell a different story. The digital marketplace, with its focus on short-term metrics and anonymous transactions, has created a set of tools and tactics that are optimized for getting a click, not for earning trust. The problem is that many businesses have become addicted to these low-trust tactics. They use fake scarcity timers to create false urgency, they write misleading headlines to inflate their click-through rates, and they make it nearly impossible to speak to a real human for customer support. They may win the battle for a single transaction, but they are catastrophically losing the war for a long-term relationship. This behavior has created a generation of deeply skeptical and cynical consumers who approach every online interaction with a shield of distrust, assuming that every promise is an exaggeration and every claim is a lie. The solution is a conscious and radical rejection of the low-trust tactics of the digital world and a corresponding wholehearted commitment to the timeless, analog principles of earning genuine trust. This requires a fundamental mindset shift. You must stop seeing trust as a marketing tactic or a box to be checked, and instead embrace it as the central operating principle of your entire business. It must inform your product development, your customer service policies, your pricing, and your marketing. In a world that defaults to skepticism, a business that operates with radical integrity and unwavering reliability becomes a beacon of light. Earning this level of trust is not the easy path, but it is the only path to building a resilient, beloved, and lasting enterprise. This chapter will detail 3 core commitments you must make to build an unshakable foundation of trust with your customers. The first is the commitment to radical transparency. In a world where most brands present a carefully curated, impossibly perfect image, the most powerful way to build trust is to be shockingly honest. Radical transparency is the practice of openly and proactively sharing information that most companies would hide. This means being transparent about your pricing, your production processes, your business practices, and even your mistakes. This works because transparency is a powerful antidote to skepticism. When you openly share your flaws and your costs, you are demonstrating a profound confidence in your own value and a deep respect for your customers' intelligence. This vulnerability, paradoxically, makes you appear far more trustworthy than the brand that pretends to be perfect. A modern apparel company built its entire brand on this commitment. On every product page, alongside the price, was a detailed infographic breaking down the true cost of the garment: the materials, the labor, the transport, the duties, and finally, their own markup. This level of transparency was unheard of in the fashion industry. It instantly built a deep bond of trust with their customers, who felt they were finally dealing with a company that was honest and fair. When this company once made a mistake and shipped a batch of flawed products, they didn't hide it. They sent an email to all their customers, transparently explaining the manufacturing error, apologizing sincerely, and offering a full refund, no questions asked. This act of radical honesty solidified their reputation as a brand with unparalleled integrity. The second core commitment is the commitment to consistent reliability. Trust is not built in a single grand gesture. It is forged over time through the quiet repetition of promises kept. You must become relentlessly, even boringly, consistent and reliable in every aspect of your business. Your product must always work as advertised. Your shipments must always arrive on time. Your customer service must always be helpful and responsive. You must become the always in your customers' lives. This works because the human brain is a pattern recognition machine that is hardwired to seek safety and predictability. When your business consistently and reliably delivers on its promises, time after time, you are creating a powerful neurological pattern of safety and dependability in your customers' minds. They learn, on a subconscious level, that engaging with your brand is a safe and predictable experience. This feeling of safety is the bedrock of all lasting trust. A software company made consistent reliability their central cultural value. They made a public promise to resolve all high-priority support tickets within 24 hours. For 5 years, they obsessively tracked and met this metric, building a legendary reputation for dependability. This reputation became their single greatest marketing asset. New customers chose them not because of a fancy feature, but because they knew the company would always be there for them when something went wrong. This unshakable trust allowed them to command a premium price and maintain incredibly low customer churn. The third core commitment is the commitment to a long-term orientation. In every interaction, your customer must feel that you care more about their long-term well-being than you do about making a short-term sale. This is the ultimate test of trustworthiness. It means you must be willing to sacrifice immediate revenue in order to do the right thing for your customer and solidify the long-term relationship. This might mean proactively telling a customer not to upgrade to a more expensive plan because their current plan is sufficient. It might mean recommending a competitor's product if it is genuinely a better fit for the customer's needs. It means having a generous, no-questions-asked refund policy that removes all risk for the buyer. This works because these actions are costly signals. They are difficult to fake. When a customer sees you prioritizing their best interests over your own immediate financial gain, it provides undeniable proof that you are on their side. This creates a depth of trust and loyalty that can last a lifetime. A wealth management advisor built his practice on this commitment. During an initial consultation with a potential new client, he analyzed their financial situation and concluded that they did not yet need his complex services. Instead of trying to sell them something, he said, "Honestly, for your specific needs right now, you would be better served by this simpler, much cheaper, automated investment platform. Use that for a few years. And please come back and see me when your assets grow to a level where our strategic advice can provide real value." The potential client was stunned by his honesty. They not only returned to him 3 years later as a major client, but they had also spent those 3 years telling everyone they knew about the trustworthy advisor who had put their interests first. You have now learned the commitments required to earn the invaluable asset of trust. But trust is not just an external relationship with your customers. It is an internal one with your team. In a world of remote work, endless collaboration tools, and digitally mediated meetings, how do you forge the deep, analog human bonds within your team that are necessary to create a truly great and resilient culture? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5: Forging Bonds Beyond Collaboration Tools. Your company has Slack for messaging, Zoom for meetings, and Asana for tasks. Your team is more digitally connected, more instrumented, and more in sync on projects than ever before in human history. So why does your culture feel so disconnected? Why do your team members feel more like isolated freelancers than a cohesive unit? This is the great paradox of the modern digital workplace. We have built incredibly efficient systems for managing work, but we have simultaneously dismantled the informal human systems that build relationships. The problem is that digital tools are optimized for transactional communication, not for relational connection. The spontaneous hallway conversations, the shared laughter over lunch, the nonverbal cues in a real meeting, these small, analog moments are the social glue that binds a team together. They build the psychological safety, mutual trust, and sense of shared humanity that are essential for deep collaboration and a resilient culture. In their absence, the workplace can become sterile, isolating, and purely transactional, leading to lower morale, decreased creativity, and higher employee turnover. The solution is to accept that digital tools are not enough. You as a leader must become an intentional architect of human connection. You must consciously design and implement analog rituals that are specifically created to foster the genuine, non-transactional bonds that digital tools erode. This is not about adding more meetings to the calendar. It is about creating protected spaces for the informal, human interactions that build real relationships. By weaving these rituals into the fabric of your company's operating rhythm, you can build a deeply connected, trusting, and cohesive team, whether they are sitting in the same office or scattered across the globe. This chapter will provide 3 actionable rituals you can implement immediately to forge these essential bonds. The first actionable ritual is the ritual of non-agenda time. You must intentionally schedule and fiercely protect time for your team to interact as human beings without the pressure of a specific work-related agenda. This is the digital equivalent of the office water cooler or the team lunch. There are many ways to implement this. You can schedule a recurring 30-minute optional video call each week, perhaps on a Friday afternoon, called Coffee and Conversations, where the only rule is that no one is allowed to discuss work projects. You can create a dedicated Slack channel called Hap the Kitchen or Hap Water Cooler, explicitly for sharing pet photos, weekend plans, and interesting articles. You can also begin every single team meeting with a simple, structured, non-work check-in, such as asking each person to share one personal win from their week. This works because it creates a sanctioned space for the non-transactional interactions that build personal rapport and trust. It allows team members to see each other as whole people, not just as job titles or avatars on a screen. This relational foundation is what enables them to have more honest, direct, and effective conversations when it is time to do the work. A fully remote company implemented a ritual called No Agenda Thursdays. It was a 30-minute optional video call every week. At first, attendance was low and the conversations were awkward. But the CEO persisted. He showed up every week with a fun question to get the ball rolling. Slowly, it became the team's most beloved meeting. It was where they shared personal news, told jokes, and forged the genuine friendships that made the company feel like a true community. The second actionable ritual is the ritual of shared vulnerability. Trust is not built when people are perfect. It is built when people are real. The fastest way to build psychological safety, the feeling that one can take risks without being punished, is for the leader to model appropriate vulnerability. You must intentionally create rituals where it is safe and even encouraged for team members to be open about their struggles and their learnings. A powerful way to do this is to hold a retrospective at the end of every significant project. In this meeting, each team member answers 3 questions. What went well? What was challenging? And what did I personally learn from the process? Crucially, the leader must always go first, modeling vulnerability by openly sharing their own mistake or learning from the project. This works because vulnerability is a powerful signal of trust. When a leader is willing to be imperfect and human, it gives everyone else on the team permission to do the same. This creates an environment where people feel safe to admit mistakes, to ask for help, and to offer unconventional ideas without fear of ridicule. This honesty is the prerequisite for all genuine creativity and rapid improvement. A team leader at a fast-growing tech company noticed her team was becoming afraid to take risks. She implemented this ritual. After she went first and openly admitted a strategic misstep she had made during the project, the entire tone of the meeting shifted. The team began having a real, honest conversation about what they could do better, leading to a major breakthrough in their process for the next project. The third actionable ritual is the ritual of analog connection. While digital rituals are essential, you must accept that there is no perfect substitute for real-world face-to-face human interaction. The bonds forged through shared physical experiences are deeper and more durable than those forged through a screen. Therefore, you must be intentional about creating peak moments of analog connection for your team. If your team is fully remote, this might mean organizing a biannual, all-expenses-paid company retreat. The key is that the agenda for this retreat should be at least 80% focused on fun, shared experiences, and team building, not on work sessions and presentations. If your team is hybrid or in office, it means being deliberate about making office days about connection, not just quiet computer work. It means organizing team lunches, celebrating milestones in person, and designing the office space to encourage spontaneous interaction. This works because these peak positive moments create a reservoir of goodwill and shared memories that sustains the team's bond during the long stretches of remote or heads-down work. It reminds everyone that they are part of a team of real people with whom they share a genuine connection. A remote software company was struggling with feelings of isolation among its employees. They decided to invest a significant portion of their budget into flying the entire team and their families to a resort for 4 days every summer. The only work activity was a 1-hour company update on the first morning. The rest of the time was dedicated to shared meals, beach activities, and family-friendly events. They found that this single analog ritual dramatically boosted morale, trust, and collaborative energy for the next 6 months, providing a far greater return on investment than any new software tool could have offered. You have now learned how to build trust with your customers and how to forge the deep analog bonds of a true team. your venture has a strong foundation and a real soul. Now, for the final and most important step. How do you ensure that this wonderful thing you have built, this business with a purpose, a tribe, and a great culture, endures? How do you move from simply building a successful business to architecting a lasting legacy? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Building a Legacy, Not an Exit. Most entrepreneurs are obsessed with their exit strategy. They dream of the day they can sell their company for a massive sum and walk away. The true craftsman, the true leader, is obsessed with something else entirely, their legacy strategy. What is the difference between a business and a legacy? A business makes money. A legacy makes a difference. A business can be a brilliant success for a season, but a legacy is built to last for generations. The fundamental problem is that the modern startup culture often glorifies the quick exit as the ultimate prize. This short-term thinking incentivizes leaders to make decisions that maximize immediate valuation, but often undermine the long-term health, the unique culture, and the core purpose of the business they have built. They build a company that is attractive to an acquirer, but not one that is built to endure on its own. They focus on building a valuable asset, but they fail to build a lasting institution. This is the final and most profound challenge for the modern entrepreneur, to choose to build something that lasts. The solution is to consciously adopt the analog mindset of a cathedral builder. The individuals who began constructing the great medieval cathedrals of Europe knew with absolute certainty that they would not live to see their work completed. Their time horizon was not measured in quarters, but in centuries. They were driven not by the promise of a quick and profitable exit, but by a multi-generational vision of creating something beautiful, meaningful, and enduring. To build a legacy, the modern entrepreneur must adopt this same mindset. It requires making decisions today with a clear vision of the impact you want your company to have on the world long after you are gone. This is the work that infuses your venture with permanence and transforms it from a successful business into a meaningful legacy. This chapter will detail the 3 foundational mindsets of the legacy architect. The first is the mindset of stewardship. A business owner sees the company as their personal property, an asset to be leveraged for their own gain. A steward sees the company as a precious entity that has been entrusted to their care. Their primary duty is not to extract as much value as possible from the business, but to contribute as much value as possible to it. The steward's driving question is not, what can this business do for me, but what does this business need from me to thrive for the long term, long after I am gone? This mindset works because it leads to more sustainable, responsible, and healthier long-term decisions. A leader with a stewardship mindset will reinvest profits back into the company's growth and its people, rather than taking a massive personal dividend. They will prioritize the health of the brand over a short-term sales goal. They are, in essence, tending the garden for the next generation of gardeners. A founder who had built a very profitable company had an opportunity to sell it for a life-changing amount of money. But he realized the acquiring company would likely dismantle the unique, positive culture he had spent a decade building. Operating from a mindset of stewardship, he turned down the offer. Instead, he worked with his leadership team to create an employee stock ownership plan, effectively selling the company to the very people who had helped him build it, ensuring its culture and its legacy would be protected. The second foundational mindset is that of the master, not the genius. The genius founder is often a single point of failure. The company's success is completely dependent on their personal vision, their charisma, and their intuition. When the genius leaves, the magic leaves with them. The master, however, understands that their greatest and most enduring work is not the product they create, but the system they design and the people they develop. The master obsesses over making their own genius scalable and repeatable. This means they meticulously document their core processes, they codify their cultural values into clear principles, and most importantly, they dedicate themselves to mentoring their people to become masters themselves. This works because it builds an organization that is resilient and capable of innovating on its own. It ensures that the company's success is embedded in its systems and its people, not just in its founder. The legendary head chef of a world-renowned restaurant was a true genius in the kitchen. For years, her restaurant was a success, but it could not scale because only she could create the food at that level. To build a legacy, she shifted her focus from being a genius to being a master. She spent 2 years meticulously documenting every single recipe, every cooking technique, and her entire philosophical approach to food. She then used this playbook to create a rigorous training program for her young chefs. She taught them not just her techniques, but her way of thinking. This allowed her to eventually step away from the daily operations, confident that her legacy of culinary excellence would continue in the capable hands of the masters she had trained. The third and ultimate mindset is that of purpose over profit. While profit is the essential lifeblood of a business, it is not its ultimate soul. A legacy is built on a purpose that transcends commerce. The final work of the legacy architect is to define and permanently embed a transcendent purpose into the company's DNA. This is the positive impact you want your company to have on the world, the answer to the question, what will be our lasting contribution? This purpose becomes the company's ultimate North Star, guiding its decisions for generations to come. This works because a transcendent purpose provides the ultimate why that fuels long-term endurance. It is the most powerful tool for attracting and retaining passionate, mission-driven talent. It builds a brand that earns not just customer loyalty, but genuine love and admiration. It ensures your company remains relevant and respected long after its original products have become obsolete. The founders of a highly profitable apparel company, after achieving immense financial success, gathered their team to define their legacy. They decided their transcendent purpose would be to pioneer a new model of sustainable and ethical fashion. They legally restructured their company as a public benefit corporation, a move that formally bound them to prioritize their social and environmental mission alongside their financial goals. This cemented their legacy, ensuring that any future leader would be legally obligated to uphold the transcendent purpose upon which the company was built. These three mindsets, of stewardship, of the master, and of purpose, are the cornerstones of the legacy architect. They represent the final evolution of the modern entrepreneur, from a builder of businesses to a builder of institutions that last. This is the work that ensures your venture is not a shooting star, but a fixed and brilliant constellation, a testament to the timeless wisdom of building a business with both profit and a profound, enduring soul. You have now journeyed from the internal work of finding your North Star to the external work of building a tribe, a craft, and a fortress of trust. You have learned to forge deep bonds within your team, and finally, to architect a legacy that will endure. This playbook has offered a set of timeless, analog principles to provide clarity, connection, and conscience in a chaotic digital world. The ultimate lesson is this: the most advanced digital strategy is ultimately worthless without a strong analog foundation of human purpose and integrity. The goal is not to abandon the powerful tools of the digital age, but to wield them with the timeless wisdom of the ages. Thank you for taking this journey with us. We hope it has provided you with a clear and inspiring blueprint for your own venture. If you found value in these principles, please give this video a like, share your most important analog insight in the comments below, and subscribe to Success Attraction Formula for more timeless wisdom for the modern leader.